Hello and welcome to a short video with the keywords for section 1.2 in the Marine Science book. Of course, you can find all these keywords here in the book, and I do recommend using that, but if you want to use this as a source as well, that's okay. If you're new to doing science in IGCSE, learning and understanding the keywords is absolutely something you need to spend time on because it's a whole new vocabulary, and Cambridge expects you to know this vocabulary, and they expect you to know it quite precisely. So spending time on keywords, taking notes on them, is a very good time spent. As always, any errors here are mine and mine alone, and everything here is non-profit. So keywords here for 1.2. A good idea is always to read the chapter, and I also have a video that explains the theory of plate tectonics. Here I'm just going to go over the keywords are. The theory of plate tectonics is a theory developed in the 1960s that helped explain the formation of some of the important features on Earth's surface and how our continents move. So how we went from one supercontinent to the continents we have now, and how our oceans were created, why volcanoes exist, why we have earthquakes, and so on. A convection current is a transfer of thermal energy, heat energy, by the motion of fluid, and this is what causes the movement of our plates due to the movement of the hot molten rock below it. And a tectonic plate is a large section of crust who moves, and for example, some places like Iceland lies on two different tectonic plates. So a supercontinent is a large landmass thought to have broken up into several of our current continents. And the theory we have right now is everything was once in this great place called Pangaea, which then broke up due to the movement of the tectonic plates to create all the current continents. Now we come to the important part. Our divergent plate boundaries are two tectonic plates that move apart, and they forming new land or a new lava floating up between them. Convergent plate boundaries are two tectonic plates move towards each other, usually causing earthquakes or mountains to grow up or ocean trenches to form. And transform plate boundaries are two tectonic plates trying to slide next to each other. Lava is a molten rock that erupts from the Earth's crust, when we see, for example, volcanoes. And an earthquake is a sudden shaking of the ground, usually caused when two plates suddenly slip against each other, as we see in convergent plate boundaries. Volcanic islands are islands formed when volcanic eruptions result in the formation of an island or group of islands, for example, Iceland. And volcanoes are the part of Earth's crust from which lava erupts. We have the big one in Yellowstone, for example, the supervolcano. A mid-ocean ridge is a mountain range formed deep in the ocean that extend for hundreds of miles on either side of the parting plates. The Atlantic mid-ocean ridge is the biggest one. Hydrothermal vents are cold ocean water that seeps into the Earth's crust and is superheated by the underlying magma. This heated water is forced through vents, gas in the ocean floor, and as it cools, dissolved minerals solidify and form a chimney-like structure, which we also call a black smoker. The minerals are the nutrients we see coming from the hydrothermal vents. We also talk about them as stuff needed by living organisms such as calcium, magnesium, and iron. And subduction is a downward movement of one plate beneath another, often seen when we form a deep ocean trench. A tsunami is a fast-moving wave with a long wavelength created by the ocean floor displacement, a landslide, which often then hits land and causes destruction. Melt is a change of a solid into a liquid. During this process, heat is taken up from the surrounding. For example, we see that when we have a subducting ocean crust going down into the mantle again, and it will start melting. And an ocean trench is a deep underwater valley formed when oceanic crust slides below continental crust. Our deepest one is the Mariana Trench. Continental shelf is the part of the continental plate extending from the coast into shallow water with little or no slope. And sediments are small fragments of rock, such as gravel, sand, or slit, which we, for example, see on a sandy beach. A breakwater is a barrier which reduces the energy in waves before the waves reach the coast. For example, that can be a coral reef. And an ecosystem are all the organisms in the area along with their environment, and we'll go way more into that in later chapters.